Welcome again, my brothers. I'm D. This is the Future Fathers FF podcast. New listeners, returning listeners, I bid you a good day, good evening, good night, whatever it is, wherever you are. Yeah? Okay, let's get to it. So today we're going to get into some choices. Well, not choices. It's more like, I don't even know how to word this one properly. It's got to do with the choices your children make in the in the upbringing they have with the parents that they have or do not have. Yeah, so we're talking about all ranges of children, all ranges. It doesn't matter because you get children of an older age that make bad decisions based on the upbringing they've had with the parents they've had, as I just said, as I just explained. Yeah. Now the reason why I chose to speak on this today is because I had a conversation with a young gentleman I work with at gym. Shout out to Lenny. You give me a good idea for this one. Reason being is because, as we said, you can raise a child as best you can, but ultimately it is up to the person or the child who's making those decisions. Now, I mean, that it's a wide range of things that can happen. There are so many different aspects of life where you may feel your child made a wrong decision, but for them, it may not be a wrong decision. Now, the reason, or should I say, not the reason, one aspect on this I touched on, I'm not going to mention any names, is when I was younger, at school, we had a guy at school. He was straight A student. Straight A student. This dude was going on to do big things. The summer we left school, there were some incidents that happened in a very large park, and it was on the news. So it was a bad incident. I won't leave it up to too much of your imagination. This young boy was involved in crimes against females. There we go. Yeah. Young, middle aged and old. He's now serving what amounts to, I believe, 57 years in jail because of what he did. Now, personally, I never went to his house or not. So I never saw his parents. I never met them. I know who his mum was about, and I'm sure he lived with his aunt. Excuse me. Young boy from Africa. Yeah. From where was he from? I think he was from the Ivory Coast, if I remember rightly. I'm not gonna say definitely he was. As I said, the gentleman's in prison now, serving a very, very long sentence. And as I said, he was a straight A student. Now, I'm pretty sure every single one of us knows a student like that. Somebody who was supposed to be top of their class. They were supposed to be going places. They were supposed to be doing things with their life. All of a sudden, that didn't happen. Now, I don't know how your children are in your house, but I can vouch for my children in my house. I'm telling you this now. My children, I would hope, do not end up making decisions like that boy made. I know they won't. I know they won't. I don't even have to hope on that. I know they won't. But then you got other decisions, like another boy I went to school with, another straight A student. It seems to be a trend, like straight A students want to go crazy whenever they leave school. It's like, oh yeah, I'm out of school now, I don't have to do nothing. Like, people don't, whatever people were expecting me to do, I'm not going to do that. This next one ended up going into people's houses without their permission. He went to jail. and came out of jail and ended up on drugs. It's not a fun thing. Like, I don't know how we're going to curb our children into making decisions. I don't want to making better decisions for their with their life choices, should I say. That's the expression I should use. We need to coax our children into making better life decisions. That's it. Yes, I give myself a round of applause for that one, because I think that's brilliant. But how do we do this? We sit and talk to them, we ask them questions, we engage with them, we try and mold them as best as possible. Now, me, my children had extracurricular activities, always had something to do, always had something to do. If they got extra energy, put it into something, and you will find sooner or later they'll find something that they enjoy. Yeah, and when they enjoy that one thing, put everything that you have into them getting better at that one thing. Because I tell you what, it will help them so much. It will not only teach them discipline, it will teach them timing, it will teach them how to cope with different situations, and depending on whether it's competition based, they know how to deal with other children. And a big thing that I found helped with competitions, it teaches children how to deal with loss, every aspect of it. Because not only are they exposed to seeing other people lose, they're exposed to losing themselves. Whether it be in competition, in life, in general, I'm telling you, it helps. And this is from first-hand experience. The way it helped me may not work the same for you, but at least I can say, do you know what? There's something. That is all. That's all I'm here for, just to give that little bit of advice. Whether it helps you in the same way or not is neither here nor there. The advice is there for you to take and use and perceive as you see fit, not as I give it. Because as I said, it may not work the same. It may not work at all for you, but it might work for somebody else. But you now have the knowledge to pass on, just as we all do and should do for our children. We're all alive. We've all gone through experiences. These are the things that we need to make sure our children are aware of, so then they're able to make better decisions. Because if you inform your child of how things can go, they're, as I've said, they're exposed to it, so they have an idea of different things that can happen and how situations can play out. Now, a lot of this I can say is to do with the upbringing of children, but then there are children that are brought up in houses with single parents, mother or father. Then there are children who are brought up with other family members, aunts, uncles, grandparents, etc., older brothers or sisters. You see where I'm going? You're not going to be able to look after a child the same way their parent would if you're in that situation. Because you know you're not their parent, they know that you're not their parent, so there is that disconnect there somewhere. Even if they're your even if you're their grandparents, what I'm trying to get at, it's not the same. It's not the same. And then you've got the other side of the spectrum, where you've got children who grow up in houses without any of their family members at all. Foster care is a perfect example. Children that grow up with disabilities is another example. We as the parents are supposed to be filling them with the knowledge to carry on in their own lives. I lie? That's what we're trying to do. Yeah, we're trying to feed them knowledge, the best knowledge that we can give them, so they can go on in their lives and be productive people as best as they see fit. And I say as they see fit because they're going off of their own choices. They may be informed by the choices that we make as their parents and inform them, but ultimately they're going off of their own choices. Now, I've given my children are old enough to know certain things, so both of my boys know these two stories that I've just explained to you. They know the ins and outs of these things. And seeing the reaction in their faces gives me the hope that I know that I'm able to say, no, I know they won't do that, because they can see and they know exactly what it is, and they're like, well, hold on, but how are these people? How do you go from being that to that? Because of life choices. Maybe those choices were choices that they either saw happen, or things that they were exposed to over time, and it kind of messed with them a little bit. I don't know. I can't speak for them. I'm not them. I don't know. I know them. I'm not going to say they're my friends now. This is years ago. I was an associate of theirs. I would have said, yeah, years ago that they were my friends, but now I wouldn't say that. Now I wouldn't say that. And the best thing about that is, and I can say the best thing, because I was exposed to what they did, which gave me the power to be able to inform my children about things like that and people like that. So don't take every situation or any kind of situation and say, oh yeah, but I can't tell, I can't do, I can't show. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can show your children. And the wickedest thing about having information, the best thing about having this kind of information to pass on to your child is the universe will always show you when it's necessary to feed your child necessary bits of information. You know your child. You know what you can and can't tell your child. You know what information your child is going to soak up. You know what information your child is going to back away from. So as I've been saying, which is the whole point in this episode, yeah? We as the parents need to look at what we're giving our children as information, so they're able to make informed choices. And not only that, even if we're around children that are not ours, the help that we can give their parents, or even them, just another person to say, you know what you're doing is not cool, or what you're doing, yeah, keep going, or just, as I said, information. It helps us all grow as people and as human beings. I don't know how you're going to deliver your information. I know how I deliver my information. I'm able to sit down and talk to them. Certain times we don't even, it's not like a sit down and, we have a chat. No. Certain times they might come in and say something, and just in passing, I'll make a remark. And that one remark will lead to me saying something else. Or sometimes that one remark might lead to one of the boys asking me a question, and then I can elaborate on that question. But we need to guide them better. We need to be able to give them the upbringing that leads them to making better decisions and better life choices. That's what we need to do. As parents, that is our ultimate goal. Making our children lead better lives than we had. Yeah? Giving them the information that we have as their parents is giving them a better chance in leading better lives. So my brothers, I don't know, as I said, I don't know how you're going to deliver your information, but make sure how you deliver your information is in a format that your child understands and can take in then when you're giving it to them, and later on as well. So it's something they can actually mull over in their brains and think over. We're their guidance. We're the light in the darkness that they can point in any direction and shine on something and understand it. That's our use. That's our purpose. We are here to fill them with the knowledge that they need as people. We are here to shine a light on things that they don't understand so they can understand. We are parents. We learn just as much as them. So don't be afraid to ask your child something so you can gain more information to be a better parent to them. My brothers, I'm D. This is the Future Fathers FF podcast. And I beg you, stay blessed.